November 7th, 2025, 11:17 a.m. International waters between Mexico and Florida. A housekeeper on the Carnival Horizon opens the door to cabin 8237. She finds an 18-year-old girl wrapped in blankets, hidden under the bed, covered with life jackets, dead. This is Anna Kepner, high school cheerleader, weeks from graduation, Navy dreams. But here's the question that changes everything about this case. Anna's father and stepmother were in the cabin directly across the hall. 17 hours. That's how long Anna was in that room before anyone opened the door. 17 hours. Why did no one check? This isn't a story about a cruise ship murder. You've heard that version. This is about the hours that came before the body was found. Because Anna Kepner didn't die at 11:17 a.m. when the housekeeper opened that door. She died sometime in the night, maybe as early as 6 p.m. the evening before. Which means she lay in that cabin, dead or dying, while her family ate breakfast the next morning, while they walked the ship, while they waited for her to show up. For 17 hours, 3 teenagers were in cabin 8237, 2 boys, 1 girl. The door was shut. Across the hall, maybe 30 feet away, Anna's father and stepmother slept through the night. They never checked. In the morning, they went to breakfast without her. They didn't knock on the door. Here's what we need to understand. Why? What family dynamic made 17 hours without contact seem normal? Before we go any further, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. This case has reached people all over the world, and Anna's family deserves to know how many people are paying attention. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because when this case breaks, and the FBI says they're definitely closer, you need to be here. Anna Marie Kepner was born June 13, 2007, in Titusville, Florida. Think Space Coast. Think rockets launching from Kennedy Space Center just down the road. Think small-town America, where everyone knows everyone. Anna's parents, Christopher Kepner and Heather Wright, divorced when Anna was 5. Heather moved to Oklahoma. Christopher stayed in Titusville, eventually remarrying a woman named Tabitha Harper, who had been their teenage babysitter. Let that sink in for a second. Anna grew up in a complicated family situation. After Christopher and Tabitha's marriage fell apart in 2023, he married again, this time to Chantel Hudson, a woman who brought her own children into the home. Suddenly, Anna's world included stepbrothers she barely knew. But we'll get to that. First, you need to know who Anna was as a person. Temple Christian School. That's where Anna spent her senior year. She was a cheerleader. You've probably seen the videos. Anna at the sail-away party on November 2nd, dancing with other cruisers, smiling, living her best life. That video went viral after her death. People watched it over and over, looking for signs, looking for anything that suggested what was about to happen. But Anna just looks happy. Her mother, Heather, described her as someone who never complained. She was always happy, Heather told Fox 35. She was always trying to make everybody smile. Anna loved animals, dolphins especially, butterflies. She loved music, everything except heavy metal. She loved cheerleading and had big dreams about her future, Navy dreams. Anna wanted to join the U.S. Navy after graduation, then transition to K-9 police work. She wanted to work with dogs, to serve, to do something that mattered. She was months away from graduating, weeks really. Spring 2026 was supposed to be her moment. She had plans. But something was wrong at home. Anna had an ex-boyfriend named Joshua too. They dated recently, broken up a few months before the cruise. Josh later told Inside Edition something that makes your blood run cold. Anna was uncomfortable in her own home. She slept at friends' houses whenever possible. She avoided being alone in the house. Why? Her 16-year-old stepbrother, Josh's father, Stephen Weston, said Anna was scared of him. The stepbrother carried a big knife around. He was obsessed with Anna, according to Weston. Infatuated, attracted to her like crazy. He always wanted to date her. During one late-night FaceTime call between Josh and Anna, Josh says he saw the stepbrother try to climb on top of Anna while she slept. Josh yelled through the phone, "What the hell are you doing in her room?" The stepbrother ran. Josh says he tried to warn Anna's parents. They didn't want to believe him. So Anna kept sleeping at friends' houses, kept avoiding home, kept trying to manage a situation that adults should have been managing for her. And then came the cruise. November 2nd, 2025. The Kepner family, 9 people total, boarded the Carnival Horizon in Miami for a 6-night Caribbean vacation. It was supposed to be fun. Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, a blended family bonding trip. Anna's father, Christopher, age 41. Her stepmother, Chantel, age 36. Anna's biological brother, Connor, 14. Her stepbrother, the one Josh had warned about, 16 years old, a 9-year-old stepsister. Anna's grandparents, Jeff and Barbara Kepner, who'd paid for the entire trip. 9 people, 1 family vacation. Anna had no idea she had 5 days left to live. The sleeping arrangements matter. Let me paint you a picture of the Carnival Horizon's 8th deck. Cabin 8237, Anna, her 14-year-old biological brother Connor, and her 16-year-old stepbrother. 3 teenagers, 1 room, directly across the hall. Anna's father, Christopher, and stepmother Chantel, with the 2 9-year-old girls. 2 floors up, grandparents Jeff and Barbara in a larger suite with an extra bed. The grandparents had specifically told the teenagers, "If you're not getting along, you can move up to our room," but according to Barbara Kepner, the teens got along great. Anna and her stepbrother were like 2 peas in a pod, she later told investigators. Josh, too, would beg to differ. The cruise departed Miami on November 2nd. That's when the TikTok video was filmed, Anna dancing at the sail-away party. For the next few days, the family island hopped, Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Cozumel, and then came the final night, November 6th, 2025. The ship was sailing back toward Miami, one more night before they dock on November 8th. Anna told her family she wasn't feeling well that evening. She went back to cabin 8237. That's the last time most of the family saw her alive. But Connor, Anna's 14-year-old brother, heard something that night. He heard yelling coming from inside the locked cabin. According to Josh, too, Connor later described it. The stepbrother was yelling at her in a harmful way. He heard the stepbrother scream at Anna to shut the hell up. Connor heard banging, chairs being thrown. Then, silence.
Think about this moment. Connor is outside that cabin. He can hear violence. He's 14 years old. What's he supposed to do?
His father and stepmother are across the hall, 30 feet away. He could knock on their door. He could tell them something's wrong, but he doesn't. Because in this family, doors stay closed. The night passes. November 7th, 2025. Morning. Christopher and Chantel wake up in their cabin. They gather the 2 9-year-olds. They head to breakfast. They assume Anna is sleeping in. The teenagers across the hall are teenagers. They sleep late. It's a cruise. It's normal. Hours pass. Late morning approaches. Anna still hasn't appeared. Nobody knocks on cabin 8237. Nobody checks. According to court testimony later, an attorney asked Chantel directly, "With the teenagers across the hall, did you ever go in and check on them?" Chantel's answer, "No, I had went to sleep." By 11 a.m., someone finally gets concerned enough to alert ship staff. A housekeeper is sent to cabin 8237, 11:17 a.m. She opens the door. The cabin is trashed. Furniture is overturned. Chairs are knocked over. A suitcase is open on the floor. clothes spilling out. And there, under the bed, wrapped in blankets and covered with life jackets, is Anna. The housekeeper immediately alerts security. Ship security enters the cabin. They find Anna's stepbrother Timothy sitting on his bed. According to witness statements, Timothy appeared to be an emotional mess. He kept saying he couldn't remember what happened. But there's a problem with that story. If Timothy couldn't remember what happened, how did Anna's body end up hidden under the bed, carefully covered with life jackets and blankets? The ship's medical team arrived within minutes. Anna was pronounced dead at the scene. Cause of death, asphyxiation, manual strangulation. She had been strangled to death. The FBI was notified immediately, because this didn't happen in Florida waters or even U.S. waters. This happened in international waters, which means federal jurisdiction. The FBI handles all crimes on cruise ships in international waters. The Carnival Horizon diverted course. Instead of continuing to Miami, the ship headed to Port Canaveral, the nearest U.S. port. FBI agents boarded the ship as soon as it docked. Anna's family was devastated. Her grandparents, Jeff and Barbara, who had paid for this cruise to bring the family together, were in shock. Anna's father, Christopher, and stepmother, Chantel, were questioned extensively. And Timothy, he was taken into federal custody. But here's where this case gets even more disturbing. The FBI's investigation uncovered evidence that this wasn't just a murder. It was a sexual assault, followed by a murder. Federal prosecutors charged Timothy Hudson with 2 counts: first-degree murder and aggravated sexual abuse resulting in death. The charges are specific. They allege that Timothy did unlawfully kill Anna Kepner with malice aforethought, and that he did knowingly engage in a sexual act with Anna Kepner by force and threat of force, and such conduct resulted in the death of Anna Kepner. These are federal charges. They carry mandatory life sentences if convicted. Because Timothy is 16 years old, he's being charged as an adult under federal law. The evidence, according to court filings, includes DNA evidence linking Timothy to the sexual assault, surveillance showing his movements, forensic analysis of the cabin, witness statements from Connor about the screaming, and testimony from Josh, too, about Timothy's obsession with Anna. All of it leading to one inescapable conclusion. Anna Kepner fought for her life in cabin 8237. She fought while her father slept across the hall. She fought while no one checked. She fought alone. Based on what we know from court documents, FBI evidence, witness statements, and family interviews, here's what happened that night. November 6, 2025. Evening. Anna returns to cabin 8237, saying she's not feeling well. Her stepbrother Timothy is already there. Connor, the 14-year-old, is there too. At some point, Anna and Timothy are alone in the cabin. Maybe Connor left. Maybe Timothy asked him to leave. Maybe Connor sensed what was coming and escaped. What we know: Connor heard yelling. He heard furniture thrown. He heard Timothy screaming at Anna to shut the hell up. Based on the federal charges, this is when the sexual assault occurred. Anna fought back. The overturned furniture, the bruising, the evidence of a struggle. Timothy, according to his own parents' text messages, had not taken his insomnia medication for 2 nights on the cruise. He had ADHD. He was in therapy. His mother later confirmed he'd been diagnosed with behavioral issues. But here's what matters. None of that excuses what happened next. At some point during the struggle, Timothy got Anna into a bar hold, an arm across the throat, pressure on the windpipe. Medical examiners say this kind of asphyxiation takes minutes. You have to maintain pressure. You have to be intentional. This wasn't an accident. Anna Kepner was 18 years old. Her stepbrother was 16. They were roughly the same size, but he had leverage, he had position, he had rage, and Anna, according to her aunt, fought for her life, but she lost. The exact time of death is unclear. The medical examiner places it sometime in the evening of November 6th or early morning of November 7th. What we know: by the time Connor came back to the cabin, Anna was dead. Timothy didn't leave. He stayed in that room. He moved Anna's body under the bed. He covered her with life jackets and blankets. He staged it. Then he climbed into bed and went to sleep. The next morning, when the family gathered for breakfast, Timothy showed up without Anna. And nobody asked where she was, because in this family, you don't ask, you don't check, you don't open doors. For 17 hours, Timothy walked around that ship knowing Anna was dead in the cabin. For 17 hours, he said nothing. For 17 hours, Anna's family ate meals, walked the deck, assumed she was just sleeping in. And when the housekeeper finally found Anna's body, Timothy was there. An emotional mess, family members said. "I can't remember anything," he kept repeating. But he remembered enough to hide her body. He remembered enough to cover her with life jackets. He remembered enough to act normal the next morning. Here's what prosecutors believe, based on the evidence. This wasn't a sudden snap. This was a culmination. Timothy had been obsessed with Anna for months. Josh, too, warned the family. Stephen Weston warned the family. Anna herself avoided being home because of Timothy. And her parents, Christopher and Chantel, put them in a cabin together anyway, on a cruise ship, in the middle of the ocean, where Anna had nowhere to run. The question isn't just, why did Timothy kill Anna? The question is, why was Anna ever put in that situation? And that question haunts this case, because 17 hours is a long time to wait before checking on your daughter. As of April 2026, Timothy Hudson is being held in federal custody awaiting trial. He's been charged as an adult. First-degree murder, aggravated sexual abuse. If convicted, he faces life in prison. The trial hasn't begun yet. The evidence is still being processed. The defense is still being built. But the federal government has made its position clear. They want Timothy detained until trial. No bond, no release. Christopher Kepner, Anna's father, agrees. He needs to be arrested at this time, Christopher told NBC News. That is where the family stands. Justice needs to be served. Anna's biological mother, Heather, who hasn't seen her daughter regularly in years since moving to Oklahoma, is devastated. She wasn't even allowed to attend Anna's funeral. Family tensions kept her away. But she'll be there for the trial. She's promised that. The FBI investigation remains active. They're still processing evidence, still interviewing witnesses, still building the case. And Carnival Cruise Lines? They've been silent. This case raises massive questions about cruise ship safety. How are cabin assignments made? Do cruise lines screen for family conflicts? Are there protocols for monitoring minors, sharing cabins? Jamie Barnett, founder of the International Cruise Victims Organization, says her daughter Ashley died on a Carnival cruise in 2006, and nearly 20 years later, that case is still open with no answers. This is how it works with cruise ship deaths, Barnett told Fox 35. The FBI investigates, but the jurisdictional issues make everything complicated. Cases drag on for years. Anna's family is preparing for a long fight, not just in criminal court, but also in changing how cruise lines handle blended families, how they monitor teenagers, how they respond when someone goes missing. Because 17 hours should never have happened. A memorial service was held for Anna on November 20th, 2025 in Titusville. Attendees were asked to wear bright colors, not black, in honor of Anna's bright and beautiful soul. Her obituary mentioned her dreams, Navy service, K-9 police work, making a difference, dreams that died in Cabin 8237. Right now, prosecutors are preparing for trial. Evidence is being cataloged, witnesses are being prepped, the case is being built, and somewhere, someone knows what happened in those 17 hours.
Connor knows. He heard it. Timothy knows. He did it.
And Anna's family is left with one question that will never have a good answer. Why didn't anyone check? Anna Marie Kepner, born June 13, 2007. Died November 7, 2025. 18 years old.
She deserved to graduate. She deserved to wear the Navy uniform she dreamed about. She deserved to train K-9 dogs and make the difference she wanted to make. She deserved a family that protected her instead of putting her in danger. She deserved parents who checked.
If you have information about this case, contact the FBI Miami field office. If you know Anna's family, let them know they're in our thoughts. And if you're in a situation like Anna was, uncomfortable at home, afraid of someone in your family, trying to manage something adults should be managing, tell someone. Tell everyone. Don't stop until someone listens. Anna Kepner deserved better. Her name deserves to be remembered.